In the heart of tiny French Lick, Indiana, on a cold winter's night in 1956, a baby boy was born, his cries echoing through the quiet streets like a clarion call to destiny. This was Larry Joe Bird, a child who would become an American legend, a basketball phenom whose story is as riveting as it is inspiring. My name is Elizabeth, and today I am telling you the story of Larry Bird. Born to working-class parents, Larry's early years were marked by struggles that would have crushed lesser spirits. His father, a local handyman, was an alcoholic who left the family when Larry was just 12. His mother, a schoolteacher, worked tirelessly to keep food on the table and hope in their hearts. But hope is a powerful force, one that burns brighter when fueled by adversity. And Larry Bird had an abundance of it. He found solace in basketball, a sport he discovered at the age of 9. It was his refuge, his sanctuary, his escape from a world that seemed to be crumbling around him. Larry's journey took him from the hardwood courts of Indiana to the hallowed grounds of Boston College, where he became a 3-time All-American and led his team to 2 NCAA championship games. But it was his time with the Boston Celtics that would truly solidify his legend. In Boston, Larry found not just a team, but a family. He forged a bond with fellow legends like Magic Johnson and Kevin McHale, their rivalry on the court matched only by their respect off it. Together, they battled adversity, pushing each other to greater heights. Larry's game was legendary, a blend of raw talent, unyielding determination, and an uncanny ability to read the game like no one else. He was a master tactician, a fearless competitor, and a relentless perfectionist. But it was his heart /up 20 for teen, his indomitable spirit /up 1014 that truly set him apart. Larry's story is one of struggle and triumph, sacrifice and redemption. It is the story of a boy from a small town who defied the odds to become a basketball god. It is the story of a man who faced adversity head-on, who refused to be defined by his past, and who used every hardship as fuel for his fire. So sit back, my friends, and listen closely as I tell you the tale of Larry Joe Bird, a true American underdog, a basketball immortal, and a man whose spirit will live on in the hearts of fans for generations to come. Born on a bitterly cold December day in 1956, nestled in the quaint, industrious town of French Lick, Indiana, Larry Joe Bird emerged into a world brimming with grit and resilience. The son of a hardworking, blue-collar family, his roots were as deeply entrenched in the soil of rural America as the mighty oak trees that dotted the rolling hills surrounding his hometown. Larry's father, Joe Bird, was a man of few words but immense strength and determination. He toiled away at a stone quarry from sunrise to sundown, his calloused hands etching out a living for himself, his wife, and their 5 children. His wife, Lorraine, was a woman of quiet dignity, her spirit as indomitable as the Hoosier cornfields that stretched endlessly around their modest home. The Bird household was a crucible of generational struggles, where dreams were tempered by reality and ambitions were molded by necessity. Lorraine's dreams of stardom had been snuffed out by the demands of raising a family in a time when women were expected to shoulder the burden of domesticity. Joe, despite his love for basketball, had been forced to abandon his own aspirations when he was drafted into the Vietnam War. Larry, the youngest of 5, was the product of this unspoken sacrifice. He watched his siblings labor in the fields or work in factories, their dreams deferred as they shouldered the weight of family obligations. Yet, within him, there stirred an insatiable hunger for something more, a desire to escape the constraints of his hometown and etch his name into the annals of basketball history. In the small town of French Lick, Larry found solace on the hardwood courts that echoed with the sound of squeaking sneakers and the thud of balls bouncing against wood. It was here, under the watchful eyes of his father, who coached the local high school team, that Larry began to hone his prodigious talent. As he grew older, it became increasingly clear that basketball offered a chance at redemption not just for himself, but for his family. The court was his sanctuary, a place where he could momentarily forget about the hardships of his upbringing and let his dreams take flight. And so, with each dribble of the ball and every swish of the net, Larry Bird began to sow the seeds of greatness. In the small, quiet town of French Lick, Indiana, nestled between rolling hills and dense woods, Larry Joe Bird took his first breath on a brisk winter morning in 1956. The cold air whispered through the bare branches as the world outside welcomed its newest inhabitant with a cloak of frost. His parents, Josephine and Leonard, a hard-working couple who ran the local tavern, looked upon their baby boy with pride and love, unbeknownst to them that they had just set into motion an extraordinary tale. The town itself was a testament to Larry's humble beginnings. French Lick's cobblestone streets echoed with the laughter of children playing, while the scent of freshly brewed coffee wafted from the local cafes. It was a simple life, filled with hard work and even harder sacrifices, but it was also a life of resilience and determination that would shape Larry's character for years to come. As a child, Larry was known for his quiet demeanor and thoughtful nature, a stark contrast to the boisterous townsfolk who surrounded him. He spent his days exploring the woods, fishing in the nearby creek, or honing his skills on the makeshift basketball hoop that hung from the barn. It wasn't long before the townspeople began to notice Larry's natural talent for basketball, a gift that seemed to have been bestowed upon him at birth. One day, as Larry dribbled an old, worn-out ball on the dusty playground, he stumbled and fell, skidding across the gravel. The other children snickered and went back to their games, but not Larry. With a determination that belied his young age, he got up, brushed off his clothes, and continued to dribble as if nothing had happened. It was a small act, but it was a clear sign that something within him refused to be defeated. From that moment on, Larry dedicated himself to the game of basketball. He practiced tirelessly, day in and day out, honing his skills and pushing himself to new heights. Despite the challenges that life threw at him, a troubled home life, financial struggles, and the constant reminders that he was just a small-town boy from Indiana, Larry never gave up. Instead, he used these obstacles as fuel for his ambition, channeling his frustration and anger into determination and focus on the court. As Larry grew older, word of his remarkable skills began to spread beyond French Lick. Scouts from colleges across the country descended upon the town, eager to catch a glimpse of this prodigious talent. But it was Bob Knight, the legendary coach at Indiana University, who would ultimately change Larry's life forever. Recognizing the raw potential within this unassuming young man, Coach Knight offered Larry a scholarship to play for the Hoosiers. It was a moment of triumph for Larry, a validation of all the hard work and sacrifice he had endured up to that point. But it was also just the beginning of his extraordinary journey, a journey that would take him from humble beginnings in French Lick to basketball immortality. Little did they know, as Larry Bird took the court for the first time at Indiana University, he was on the cusp of becoming one of the greatest basketball players of all time. In the labyrinthine world of professional basketball, where fortunes rise and fall on the fickle whims of victory and defeat, few names resonate as powerfully as that of Larry Joe Bird. Born under the cold, star-studded Midwestern sky, he was destined for a life far removed from the idyllic farmlands of French Lick, Indiana. As the basketball prodigy of French Lick High School, his name echoed through the gyms and courtyards, his every move chronicled by the local press. Yet it was not fame that he craved, rather it was the intoxicating allure of competition, the thrill of the game itself. It was here, amidst the rustling leaves and whispering cornfields, that Larry Bird's heart first tasted the bitter sting of betrayal. A trusted mentor, a figure who had nurtured his talents and shared in his dreams, turned against him. The betrayer's cunning words, sharp as daggers, left an indelible scar on the young man's heart. But Larry Bird was not one to wallow in sorrow or self-pity. Instead, he channeled that pain into a relentless determination to prove his worth. He became a veritable force of nature on the court, a whirlwind of elbows, knees, and feet, a storm of skill and grit that left opponents reeling in his wake. His journey would lead him to the unforgiving concrete jungle of Boston, where he would don the green and white jersey of the Celtics. Here, he would find not just camaraderie, but an unexpected solace backslash a 2014 a love story as complex and captivating as any romance novel. The woman was named Dinah, a striking redhead with eyes that danced like starlight. She was a kindred spirit, one who understood the fire that burned within him, the demons that haunted his dreams. Together, they navigated the treacherous waters of fame and fortune. Their love story played out against the backdrop of championship parades and heartbreaking defeats. But even in the depths of their passion, shadows lurked. The ghost of betrayal would resurface, its icy fingers clutching at Larry's fragile sense of self-worth. It was a battle he waged alone, his pain hidden behind the stoic mask of the hardened basketball player. Yet, it was this very struggle backslash up 1014's battle against darkness and despair backslash up 1014 that forged Larry Bird into an unbreakable champion. For in the crucible of heartache and loss, he found the strength to endure, to rise once more from the ashes of defeat and claim victory again and again. In the pantheon of American sports heroes, there is no tale more captivating, no story more deeply human than that of Larry Joe Bird, a man who dared to defy the odds, to overcome betrayal and heartbreak, and emerge victorious in the face of insurmountable adversity. In the annals of basketball history, his name will forever stand as a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human heart backslash a 2014 a beacon of hope for those who dare to dream. In the heartland of America, nestled among the rolling hills of Indiana, a young prodigy was honing his craft, oblivious to the storm brewing beyond his idyllic town. Larry Joe Bird, born on a cold winter's day in 1956, would soon face trials that would forge him into an unbreakable force in the world of basketball. The son of a hard-working coal miner and a devoted housewife, Larry learned early the value of perseverance and dedication. His love for the game ignited on the playgrounds of French Lick, where he honed his skills under the watchful eye of the town's basketball coach, Bobby Knight. Larry was no ordinary athlete. His height was a mere advantage. It was his relentless will and unparalleled skill that set him apart. He spent countless hours perfecting his craft, the echoes of his dribble bouncing off the walls of the dilapidated gymnasium long after the sun had set. The townspeople would shake their heads in disbelief as they saw the lone figure illuminated by a single flickering light bulb, his silhouette dancing gracefully across the court. But the world outside French Lick was unimpressed. College recruiters passed him over, dismissing him as too small, too slow, and too rough around the edges. Larry's dream of playing at the collegiate level seemed as elusive as ever, but he refused to let go. He had tasted the sweet taste of victory on the local courts, and he yearned for more. Then came a break, one that seemed almost too good to be true. A small university in Bloomington, Indiana, extended an offer to Larry. It was an opportunity many would have seized without hesitation, but for Larry it was a chance to prove the doubters wrong. He accepted, stepping onto the campus of Indiana University with a hunger in his heart and fire in his eyes. Larry's arrival at IU marked a turning point. Under Coach Knight's demanding tutelage, he transformed into a relentless force on the court. His fierce determination and unwavering focus propelled him to new heights, shattering records and leading Indiana to unprecedented victories. But it wasn't just his skills that captured the hearts of fans. It was his story, the tale of an underdog defying the odds in pursuit of his dreams. As Larry ascended to basketball stardom, he faced new challenges. Critics questioned his temperament, doubting whether a player as fiery as him could ever succeed at the professional level. But Larry didn't back down. Instead, he harnessed that fire and channeled it into an unstoppable drive. In 1978, the Boston Celtics selected Larry with the 6th overall pick in the NBA draft. It was a dream come true for the young player, but he knew his journey was far from over. He would face adversity, setbacks, and heartbreak on the road to greatness, but for now, he basked in the glow of victory, knowing that this was only the beginning. Larry Bird's story is a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of dreams, and the unwavering belief in oneself. It is a tale of sacrifice, struggle, and triumph, one that resonates deeply with an audience that values perseverance, grit, and raw ambition. And as Larry's career unfolded, he would continue to defy expectations, leaving a legacy that echoes through the annals of basketball history. In the twilight of 1978, nestled within the verdant hills of French Lick, Indiana, a lanky young boy named Larry Bird stepped onto the hardwood court for the first time as a freshman at Springs Valley High School. Little did he know that this humble gymnasium would serve as the launching pad for his meteoric rise in basketball, a sport that would consume him and reshape his destiny. The first taste of victory came swiftly. Bird, with his prodigious talent and insatiable competitive spirit, led Springs Valley to an undefeated season, capturing the school's first ever conference championship. Yet, even in triumph, the seeds of tragedy were sown. A knee injury threatened to derail his dreams, leaving him to contemplate a future that didn't include the game he loved. But Larry Bird was not one to surrender without a fight. He rehabilitated his knee, fought through pain, and returned to the court with an unyielding determination. At Indiana State University, he would once again defy the odds, leading the Sycamores to back-to-back NCAA championship appearances, and in 1979, clinching the National Player of the Year award. The Boston Celtics, a storied franchise with a rich history of success, eagerly scooped up this new phenom. Bird's arrival ignited an already potent team, catapulting them to heights unseen since the days of Bill Russell and John Havlicek. In 1980, they captured their first NBA title in 8 years, and a dynasty was born. Yet, glory has a darker side. The media glare, the relentless expectations, and the weight of history all weighed heavily upon Larry Bird's shoulders. He was no longer just a small-town kid with big dreams. He was now a symbol, an emblem of a city and a team that craved redemption. Injuries, both physical and mental, began to take their toll. A back injury sidelined him for the 1985 NBA Finals, a bitter pill to swallow for a player who prided himself on his iron will. But Larry Bird was not one to be defeated easily. He rehabbed once more, pushing through pain and uncertainty to return stronger than ever. However, darkness lurked in the shadows. A locker room betrayal rocked the Celtics' tight-knit brotherhood, casting a pall over the team's once unstoppable camaraderie. The whispers of disloyalty and backstabbing gnawed at Bird, fueling an inner turmoil that threatened to consume him. Yet, even in his darkest moments, Larry Bird refused to give in. He channeled his anger, his frustration, and his pain into a relentless pursuit of perfection. On the court, he became a living legend, his silky smooth jump shot and unyielding tenacity etching his name into the annals of basketball history. In 1986, the Celtics faced their toughest challenge yet a 2014 Los Angeles Lakers, led by the one they called the Showtime team. The series stretched to a grueling 7 games, with each team trading victories like blows in an epic battle. But it was Bird who would ultimately have the final say. In Game 6, he sank a miraculous 17-foot jump shot at the buzzer, securing the championship for Boston and etching his name in basketball folklore. Yet, glory once again gave way to despair. A devastating back injury forced Bird to retire in 1992, leaving him to face a future without the game that had defined him. But even in retirement, Larry Bird refused to be vanquished. He returned to Boston as an executive and coach, guiding the Celtics through another era of success and ensuring his enduring legacy. Today, Larry Bird stands as a testament to the indomitable spirit of perseverance, a shining example of the human capacity for resilience in the face of adversity. He is a hero, not just for his extraordinary athletic accomplishments, but for the lessons he imparted through his journey / a 1014th at the darkest nights can give way to the brightest days, and that even the hardest falls can be overcome with determination and heart. In the hallowed corridors of Boston Garden, the air was thick with anticipation as the clock ticked down to 0 hour. The arena pulsed with an electric energy that seemed to crackle in the very air as the fans clad in green and white awaited the spectacle they had long craved, a showdown against the mighty Philadelphia 76ers for the NBA championship. Among them stood a lanky figure, his hands clasped tightly behind his back, his brow furrowed in determination. Larry Joe Bird, a man whose very essence seemed to be woven from the fabric of grit and resilience, knew that this moment was everything he had ever fought for. The game started with a fierce intensity, each team determined to outdo the other on every possession. Yet, as the clock wound down, it became apparent that Larry Bird's Celtics were not only keeping pace, they were surging ahead. His unerring shot and uncanny ability to read the game like an open book gave them a lead they refused to relinquish. As the fourth quarter began, the tension reached a crescendo, the crowd roaring with each made basket, as if daring the 76ers to challenge their dominance. Yet, in the quiet before the storm, Larry Bird stood alone, his eyes locked on the basketball court, his heart pounding in his chest. It was not just the championship at stake, it was years of struggle, sacrifice, and relentless ambition that had led him to this moment. The memory of being drafted 6th overall, behind 5 players who would never reach the heights he did, still rankled. But now, as he dribbled the ball, his fingers slick with sweat, he knew he was about to etch his name into the annals of basketball history. Time seemed to slow as he launched the shot, the world around him fading away, until there was only the ball, the hoop, and the momentous silence that preceded the roar of the crowd. The ball arced through the air, spinning gently before finding its mark with a satisfying swish. A wave of emotion washed over Larry Bird as he sank into the embrace of his teammates, the weight of expectation finally lifted from his shoulders. He had fought for this moment, sacrificed countless hours honing his craft, and now, as the confetti rained down upon him, he knew that everything he had ever dreamed of was finally within reach. This was not just a win, it was triumph, redemption, and proof positive that with unwavering determination and an indomitable spirit, even the most improbable dreams can become a reality. As the crowd chanted his name, Larry Bird stood tall, a testament to the power of perseverance and the indelible mark one man can leave on a sport he loved with every fiber of his being. In the twilight of his illustrious career, Larry Bird found himself grappling with an unwelcome adversary / a 2013 time. The relentless foe had begun to creep into the sinewy frame and unyielding spirit of a man once considered invincible on the basketball court. The 3-time most valuable player, MVP of the National Basketball Association (NBA), the Hall of Famer, and the undisputed king of Indiana's hardwood floors, was fading just as the setting sun casts a golden glow upon the horizon. The decline was slow, almost imperceptible at first. Aches and pains that were once mere whispers in the quiet recesses of his body now roared like thunderous drums, demanding his attention. The once effortless leap from the free throw line seemed to require Herculean strength, a testament to the toll years of relentless competition had taken on his aging frame. Yet within this struggle there was no surrender. Larry Bird fought with every fiber of his being, refusing to concede defeat. He pored over game films, meticulously dissecting every move, seeking the elusive key to recapturing his former glory. His teammates marveled at his determination, awestruck by the intensity with which he attacked each practice and game. For Bird, the court remained a battleground where he could prove his mettle, where he could fight one more battle against the inexorable march of time. Yet, as the seasons passed, the battles became fewer and farther between. Injuries mounted, keeping him sidelined for long stretches. The Boston Celtics, once a formidable force led by the indomitable Bird, struggled without their captain. Yet, even in defeat, Bird found solace in the camaraderie of his teammates and the unwavering support of his fans. When retirement finally came knocking, Bird did not slam the door shut, but instead opened it slightly, allowing a glimpse into the man behind the legend. In his post-playing days, he would return to the game as a coach, guiding young hopefuls with the wisdom of a seasoned veteran and the heart of a competitive spirit that refused to be quelled. Off the court, Bird became a philanthropist, using his fame and fortune to give back to the community that had nurtured him. He established numerous charities focusing on education, health, and athletics, providing opportunities for underprivileged youth in his hometown of French Lick, Indiana, and beyond. As the years rolled by, Bird's legacy grew. The stories of his tenacity, his unparalleled skill, and his indomitable spirit became part of basketball lore, whispered reverently among players and fans alike. His number 33 was retired by the Boston Celtics, enshrined forever in the rafters alongside the greats who had come before him. Reflecting on his life, Larry Bird mused about the path he had walked and the battles he had fought. He spoke of the joy he found in the game, the camaraderie he shared with teammates, and the love he felt from his fans. But most importantly, he acknowledged the lessons he had learned up 2013, the importance of resilience, determination, and humility in the face of adversity. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the basketball court that had been both his stage and sanctuary, one question lingered in the minds of fans: what if Larry Bird had never retired? The answer, perhaps, lay not in what might have been, but in the indelible mark he left on the game and the legacy he forged up 2013, a testament to the power of perseverance, resilience, and raw ambition. As I close this chapter in our shared journey through the life of Larry Bird, I find myself reflecting on the indomitable spirit that has filled these words. The raw ambition, the unwavering resilience, and the undying love for the game have all shone brightly as we traced his footsteps from humble beginnings to basketball immortality. Larry Bird, a name that echoes through the annals of sports history, etched with the stories of struggle, triumph, and personal redemption. He embodied the essence of what it means to be human, vulnerable, passionate, and relentless in pursuit of his dreams. As we bid our farewells, I invite you, dear listener, to carry the lessons from Larry's journey with you. Let his story inspire you to embrace your own challenges, to persevere through adversity, and to find strength in your dreams. And should you find yourself seeking more tales of courage, resilience, and unwavering spirit, know that we are here waiting for you, ready to share the journeys of other greats who dare to dream. Until then, may the fire within you burn as bright as Larry Bird's ever did on the court, and may your dreams lead you on an adventure as captivating as his life was to us all. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It has been a privilege to share Larry's story with you, and I look forward to exploring more stories together in the future.